another video review. Back again with the Batman stuff. Today we'll be looking at DC Multiverse Batman from the Dark Knight Returns. But before we get too much into the figure, let's take a look at the figure's box. Here we are back with the box. Sorry about the audio. Since this is the Build-A-Figure, it is a bigger box and it does cost more, 25 bucks. You can see DC Multiverse Batman. Click to connect to build his horse from the comic book. The Dark Knight Returns, Batman on the side, and the figure, the completed Build-A-Figure, the parts that it comes with, and the figures in line, which is Joker, Robin, and Superman. I did recently just find all these, but I will not be completing the Build-A-Figure. Anyway, that was it. Let's get a better look at the figure. Real quick, before I talk about anything, these are the parts that it comes with. A horse tail, the tail of the horse, it articulates right here. And it moves, pretty good detail on here. No paint work, but the sculpting is really nice. And two, I believe, front legs. Very muscular horse. You can see a lot of muscular detail. Solid black plastic. Looks pretty cool, and I imagine this horse to be huge since these figures are 7 inches tall. Here we are back with a closer look at the figure, and I gotta say, this thing is phenomenal. This looks just like the artwork in 3D form for the Dark Knight Returns. First and foremost, the sculpting is incredible. Get a really good look at that face. You got that furrowed eyebrow look. You guys can see all that detail right there. The face is painted very well. You can see all those teeth, the lips. The skin tone came out really nice. They even have crow's feet on the side of his eyes. I do love that. Since this is that artwork, he's like kind of stockier old man buff. The cape is done really nicely too. It is a shorter Batman cape, only reaching about to the back of the calves. Not bad though, solid. It's more of a thin plastic, so not too bad. But what I do really love is the sculpting on this figure. You can see the bat symbol here. There is a bit of a texture to it, kind of like a shell texture. It looks pretty cool. Matte black. And he does have this wrinkly, tight outfit look throughout the entire body. You guys can see it on the arms, on the chest, on his abs, all the way down to his legs. They did even get the leather parts really nicely on the gauntlets and everything black. You guys can see that right here. Super nice detail. Looks like they want to put some stitching here. It does look really clean though. Doesn't break up the sculpt whatsoever. You guys can see that on the top as well. Really, really nice sculpted detail all over the gauntlets. Again, no paint, but the sculpting is incredible. The belt here does look super clean. You guys can see that. This is a soft rubber piece. The painting is done really well. A little bit of paint damage right there, paint splotch. Other than that, it looks really clean. I do love this color. Same thing on the back. The diapers. Back of the legs too. You have this seam line going down the sides. And the boots. You guys can see the boots. I really do love that they did it in that old Frank Miller style. I don't know, just they drew the feet in such a way that it looks like it. Crazy the amount of sculpting they did on this figure. It does look super clean. Guys, that was the detail. We can take a better look at his accessories now. So apart from the horse pieces, he does come with the usual Mcfarlane card, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. He does come with like I said, the card. Go ahead and read that if you want. Comes with the standard Mcfarlane base. 2 extra hands, 2 holding hands. We saw the fists on there. Pretty cool. Like I said, really nice sculpting on all these. Just 0 paint, but I don't really think it needs any paint. I really do love the way they did these seams all over the hands and the whole bodysuit, like I was saying earlier. Same thing on this side. There you go. And he does come with, I believe, a grapple, like a rope grapple. Standard black piece of plastic. We got the old style batarang and this tied up rope. He is using it here in the photo. You guys can see that. Pretty cool. Let me show you guys how to switch the hands and how the other stuff works. Real quick before I switch the hands, I wanted to get a closer look at them. I didn't really do that earlier. Like I said, these things have incredible sculpting. The sculpting looks insanely good. The gauntlets are hard rubber here. This is not soft plastic. These are hard rubber on the fins here, but they look really clean. Like I said, 2 fist hands. Really easy to pop off like so. Just like that. We got big pegs. And we can put on one of the holding hands, just like so. Really easy. Let's see you switch the hands, and I'll show you how to use the other accessory. So these hands are pretty stiff to work, but to use the other accessory, just slip it in like so. It is really stiff plastic, like I said earlier. It's not soft rubber, like that. So he's holding the top right there. Same thing with the other hand, just slip it through. Sorry guys. And it really easily just slips in like that. You know, that's how he's doing it on the card. It's as if he's getting ready to throw it over a building. You know, pretty cool accessory. Like I said, just solid black plastic, but it works. Especially Frank Miller's artwork didn't really have a lot of shading, if I recall. But yeah, that's how it looks straight out the comic. Now we can... Here we are back to do the articulation, and I'm pretty surprised by how movable this figure is. The head can do a full 360 very easily. Can look up quite a bit and down. You know, you think it'd be super restricted, but you know, it does look clean. Really nice sculpting back here in the neck too with the cowl, back of the head. You know, side to side and get that whole 360 ball joint look. Arms can do a full 360 on both sides. They can go out really, really nicely. He does have that inner ball joint. It is a little bit stiff just the way the figure was designed. You do have a single jointed elbow. It does bend pretty deep, about a 90 degree, and a swivel at the elbow on both sides. The hands can go like this at an angle, and then you could turn the wrist joint to do the same thing, like that, and they do swivel at up and down right here. The upper abdominal joint doesn't really work at all. It's just, yeah, it doesn't move whatsoever. It is just so tight. The way it was designed up here, it's literally pressing up against the upper part, so it doesn't move at all. The waist moves a little bit. It is pretty stiff. Really no movement in the torso or waist area. The hips, though, do go out really nicely. Gigantic hips, by the way. Forward just a bit, not too far. Back just a little bit. It does swivel at the upper thigh, as well as these thigh cuts right here. You can see they line up with the seam line of the suit. We got really clean double knee joints. Again, it would be deeper if he wasn't so gigantic. We have no boot swivel, but the foot does swivel at the bottom. It is pretty tight, but it does swivel. Foot can go up and down. We have a really nice toe joint and an ankle pivot. So overall, the Batman does move really nicely. And I do actually have another Dark Knight Returns figure I want to compare this to. So let's take a look at that real quick. So here he is next to, I believe, the DC Batman Legacy, like from Mattel, Dark Knight Returns. You can just see the aesthetics are completely different. This is 6.5 inch based on the Masters of the Universe body. And, you know, we have here are the Mcfarlane Batman. You know, this is completely original sculpt, by the way. And this uses those old Mcfarlane figures. You can see they're both done in a similar style, of course. You know, the square head and the shorter ears, but completely different. But you guys can see that. These do look pretty... Actually, they might be the same size. No, just a little... This is 7 inch, 6.5. Just a little bit shorter, but, you know, that's the front. You can see the back there. Completely different figures. And they both of them move pretty well. You know, this Batman is pretty articulated too. But, you know, clearly the superior one out of these two is the Mcfarlane toys. Just the design looks way cooler to me and more faithful to the comics. This is more like an animated kitty version. Anyway, I have one more comparison before we can get to our... Lastly, here I have Batman from the Dark Knight Returns compared to his armored version. I'm not sure if this figure is from the DC animated version of the movie, because you can see here he does have some like modern cybernetic design up here, and I wasn't really sure if that was from the comic book. I vaguely remember reading the comic book back a couple years ago, but I'm not sure. But you know, this is him, and you can see he is considerably shorter compared to the armor. You know, his feet are super heavily armored. You guys can see that right there, super heavily armored feet. And you know, I think it's pretty cool that I do own these figures. This is I believe it's the blue version. I'm not sure. There's a black and blue version. You know, the aesthetic is completely different, and you can even tell by their faces You guys can see that the face is much younger looking on this figure, and he looks way older as the Dark Knight Returns. But you know what I got to say about these? They look pretty cool together. Still, the superior figure is the Batman, since this thing, I mean, just look at it. Completely different aesthetics. And, you know, more accessories. But, you know, it's pretty cool to have these both. I guess we can get to some final size comparisons, then we can go into final thoughts. Here we are back with some size comparisons. Here he is next to a Star Wars 1/12 scale Mandalorian model kit that I custom painted, by the way. Let me know if you guys want to see that. You can see here clearly bigger than him. And I'm not going to put another Mcfarlane since you just saw that. So now let's get on to some final thoughts. Here with the review, guys. I got him on a little action base, you know, just to get, you know, by the way, it's a NECA action base. Pretty good one, by the way. Overall thoughts on this figure, not too bad. You know, if you're into the aesthetic of this Batman, definitely go for it. I'm not really a big fan of the Dark Knight Returns figure, like just the aesthetic of it. You know, the mechanical Batman looks pretty cool, you know, because it's armor. But, you know, it's some pretty ugly art if you've actually seen it. Anyways, if you see it, I would say pick it up. It was an impulse buy. There are definitely a lot of other figures coming out. I just saw the whole other Batman wave. You know, you guys saw my Robert Pattinson Batman custom. Check out that custom cape video, by the way. Let me know if you guys want to see me put a cape on him, because I definitely think I'll be getting rid of this figure. I'm not sure. Maybe. Most likely, though. Anyway, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you like this Batman content. I do have more Batman stuff if you want to see it, or let me know if you're sick of it. Thanks, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the other Batman videos I have, and take care. Peace.